Good morning, parents. This is Mrs. Phillips coming live to you on a Friday morning, sports day. That's why I have my Astros hat. But I want to take a few minutes of your time and just kind of go over some math. So hopefully it'll be a help to you at home. First of all, math. This is the math work text. So when we refer to our math book, this is Grace's. When we refer to the math book, this is their math book. It is in color. Okay, and so right now we are doing chapter 2, and so all of the pages in chapter 2 are in blue. So when it says chapter 2 math test, go back and study the blue pages. So they are color coded. When they have homework, it is very important they take this book home, okay, because there are examples in each lesson of how to do the problems. So anyway, there's that. The homework book. It is called the activities book. It's in black and white. There's no color here, okay? But at the bottom, it tells you the chapter and the lesson. I normally assign, because I assign facts practice, I don't assign as many problems as I have in the past. So it's normally front and back, and I pick problems that they want to do. Should not be taken long, maybe about 10, 15 minutes for most homework assignments. But the front is always that day's lesson. The back is always review. And so they need their book so that they can go back in the book. This is a very important skill, going back and looking for the answer themselves. Now, one of my pet peeves about this book is it does not have an index or table of contents, so I've created one. So all the students have this pasted at the front of their math book, so they can look and say, I don't remember when we did such and such. Also, if it's something important, I have them put little plastic tabs there. The other thing about math is we take notes in math. They should have chapter 1 notes, chapter 2 notes, and then some example problems. They do some other things in their math notebooks. Let's see. As far as grades for math, any homework that they do can be graded. I do not grade every homework. I'd be a crazy person. But they don't know when I'm going to take it up, but I have to do that so that they take it seriously. I've learned. Classwork, sometimes I grade classwork. Quizzes, I do not do unannounced quizzes, and normally my quizzes are open book. Open book, open note. Tests. As far as tests, before every test, for example, next Thursday, we have a test on chapter 2. The day before the test, I will have them sit down and work independently and do this as a practice test. And I will tell them, if you don't know one of these, go back in the chapter and look and circle that one. That's what you need to study for tonight, okay? So this is very important. It looks very much like the test they will take next day. Facts. They need to know their math facts. A lot of them do. I'm very impressed, but some of them do not. But facts are foundational to everything we do in 5th grade. For example, this chapter is on adding and subtracting large numbers. So yesterday they took a 2-minute time test. I gave them 2.5 minutes on 80 subtraction facts. Okay, all the way up to 15 minus whatever. I had students who did great, and I had students that I could tell had not practiced their facts. So that is a standard homework assignment, 5 minutes of facts every night. We practice them in class every morning. We do a 2-minute or a 1-minute test. And so they had to have at least a 90% or above. If they did not, their assignment in the next 2 weeks is going to be to bring one of these home and to practice their facts. And if they come in and say, Mrs. Phillips, I can do it, I want to replace that lower grade, that's fine. I am glad to re-give them this test and they can take it for a higher grade. We're doing multiplication next. The reason it's so important to have their facts down is this year we hit fractions and decimals and percents really hard, but this problem on the board, 24/36. You probably remember from school, if I have a fraction, you need to put it in lowest terms, okay? So we teach them how to factor out each of these. So factors of 24, I think there are 8. I know there are 9 factors of 36, and I have to find the greatest common factor. So the greatest common factor of this is 12. 24 divided by 12 is 2. 36 divided by 12 is 3. And I now put my fraction lowest terms. This is extremely difficult for them if they don't know the facts. So Throughout the year, I will continue to assign 5 minutes of facts practice. You can do it however you want. Some students prefer to use flashcards or a phone app or something on the computer. However you want to do it is fine. And I will list in the homework what facts we're practicing, but I will have regular quizzes throughout the year to make sure they have their math facts. And that is from middle school. That's from the middle school teacher saying, please, please, please make sure by the time they leave 5th grade, they have their facts. All right, I think that's enough on math. Science. Parents, very important. I know I'm running out of time. Very important. I alternate science and history. I only have an hour and a half block of time with each class. Math takes every bit of an hour. And so that leaves about half an hour for science and history, so I cannot do them at the same time. That means that I do a unit of science and then a unit of history. We have our science test. It was Monday. I think I'm going to push it off to Tuesday. I'm going to give them an extra day. But that means they do not have as many grades for science and history. I do not do extra credit. The reason I don't do extra credit is because yesterday I normally give them a study guide and I feel like I prepare them very well. On the most recent science quiz that they took on Wednesday, I probably had, out of 31 students, I probably had 26 that made 100. They either study or they don't. Science test you have to study for. As far as science, let's see. A lot of times I will grade the activity manual pages. Sometimes these are for homework. Sometimes they're done in class. But if it says study guide at the top, that means that you will see those questions on the test. So I normally in a chapter, I always assign the study guide pages. Quick check in their science book. Oh, let me grab a science book. I'm back. Okay, so every few pages, there are a quick check, and it's super simple. The answers are straight from the book based on the pages that they just read. So like the next quick check would be a few pages down, and it's on those previous pages. It goes back to the previous quick check. It starts with the, let's see, let's give you an example. This quick check is on page 9, so the next quick check would be on pages 10 through 15, okay? And always complete sentences. I'm a stickler for restating the question and answering the complete sentences. I also do quizzes, and most of them done very well on that. Labs are big. I am doing 3 labs this unit. We're doing a rock lab today. The rock lab today is not for a grade, it's just fun. But they did have a grade on growing crystals, okay? We did a solution. This was put in the refrigerator. This was left at room temperature. And so what I'm looking for is neatness and writing up the scientific method, but I am real big on results and conclusion. Results, what happened? Conclusion, why did it happen? You've read about crystal formation. Tell me why tell me why you got the results that you did. Okay, let's see. Studying for their test. I gave them a study guide yesterday. Terms. Every science unit, they will list like all the bold terms and some of the ones in italics, and they will write the term over here and then write the definition. And so these science tests are very big on definition. So that's why we have that in their book. Again, the study guide. I assign study guide pages for their test on chapter 2. They will have 3 study guide pages that should be behind their science tab. Please have them study those pages and reread the chapter. I think that's all. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me. Email is the best way. I am sorry. It is a 9-minute video, but y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.